Because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get out the news on what I found, and then we can go from there. So first of all, difference in general population versus athletics. Like I mentioned before, the general population group were counting overall macronutrients, and some days they were just getting their total calories. Athletes, they were always hitting their macronutrients, they were practicing nutrient timing, nutrient density, and their training was a lot more involved and more specific. So because of that, there's a reason why the athletic column on both sides, no matter what happened, they responded better, because these were the people that were doing the extra 10 things to get the extra 25% increase in performance, body composition, all that fun stuff. Number two, individual variability. Literally differences in environmental status, in how we actually metabolize and can digest, partition, and utilize fats. That is so broad that we have to take it into consideration, and you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Number three, small sample size. Group A only had 40 people. Group B only had 32 people. What does this mean for the big picture? Well, I chose to do this, again, at least in what I thought was the best circumstance possible. So people that are really out there doing the shit that really matters for them to build muscle or lose fat or whatever the goal was, whether it was general population or athletics. These were individuals that I know were following the plan, being 100% with me, and it wasn't in a laboratory setting where you don't know who you're dealing with. When you're dealing with a coach that works specifically in fitness, general population, and does that kind of thing versus just picking random people off the street, there's a difference there. But remember, no matter what, the sample size is going to be small. So to replicate this on the bigger scale, this is when we zoom out and you start going around and talking with people that actually tried the product, and you say, okay, what was your experience with it? So far, I haven't had one person across the board that I've ever talked with, coached, or anything utilize Professor Nuts and actually start gaining weight out of nowhere and not know why. I haven't seen them introduce Professor Nuts and say, oh, I don't know why I'm losing body fat. Why am I not losing body fat? Nothing like that. So that kind of bodes, okay, the sample size now gets a little bit bigger because we can talk with people and we can see actual anecdotal evidence and experience of what people are doing out there. Number four, my own personal bias. I want to put this on the board because I am a coach. I am a Project AG sponsored coach and athlete. I believe that I don't actually get commission or money off of any Professor Nuts sales. At least whenever it first came out, the code BFR25, which is for Project AD, which is my code, which I get money for, it doesn't apply to Professor Nuts. That may have changed over the period, but I don't think it has. So I have no financial income coming in from saying Professor Nuts is good or not. Even more so than that, I am a coach first and foremost. My income, 99% of my income comes from coaching. If I have people that all of a sudden can't lose body fat, can't get shredded for the stage, can't gain muscle, can't whatever, that's going to look bad on me. That's going to affect poorly on my coaching. That's going to affect poorly on my ability to get people into shape. And guess what's going to happen? I'm going to start losing money from a coaching aspect. So coaching is up here on my priority list in terms of financial income. So if I was truly trying to be as unbiased as possible, then from my circumstance, if this product didn't work, I wouldn't put it in with people's programs, plain and simple, because coaching is the biggest goal for me right now. That really is. So if I was having people that weren't getting the responses that we wanted, I would eliminate extra variables like Professor Nuts and say, hey, okay, I'd go to Joe and I'd say, guess what, this product just doesn't work. Joe's a very close friend of mine, but even at that, we are very honest with each other. He has thick skin, I have thick skin. We can take the honest truth back and forth. Whether you want to choose to believe what I did with this research study, my own little case study, or not, that's fine, I really don't care. At the end of the day, that's why I break this up into 3 parts, because we have the actual anecdotal experience of what I found working with people. So take that with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not saying that this is the die-hard truth. In fact, the next thing I'm going to get into in the next video is looking at the actual literature on cyclodextrin and alpha-cyclodextrin, because there are some very funny conclusions we can draw. Meaning, this is not the first product to use alpha-cyclodextrin. There's been a couple other products out there on the market that have been there on the market, working good, doing their thing in the background for, I don't know, over a decade. Now, alpha-cyclodextrin has never been applied to food products in the way that Joe did with Professor Nuts. That's the spin on it. But alpha-cyclodextrin is not a new ingredient, which has a decent amount of research on it, which is very interesting. So video 2 will be breaking down the research and the other products that have been out there already doing their thing. Number 3, then we're going to break down the study. We're going to break down what was actually seen in the laboratory setting, because they actually were there with the individuals. They did their overfeeding study, and we could see what that said. So we will have my own experience and evidence from an actual application side of things. We have the actual science and literature behind the actual ingredient itself. Then we have the actual study, so we can actually see from a literary standpoint what's going on. And number 4, the common sense side of things. In 2019, all the food technology we have, being able to make protein powder taste like Ben & Jerry's ice cream, having fat-free cheese, having calorie-free, essentially, sodas, having all these different diet foods options available to us. Why is it so unbelievable that we could now have a lower calorie, extremely low calorie peanut butter? To me, it doesn't. You know, no matter what, there's going to be trace calories in everything. Look at your spray that you use for your cooking spray. Look at any of your butter sprays that you use that are 0 calorie. Look at your diet sodas. There's going to be trace calories in everything. It's not eliminating the calories completely and making it calorie free, because no matter what, if you're putting it in your body and you're ingesting it, there's most likely going to be energy there that you're going to be getting out of it. But using some common sense, and then applying all those other 3 videos that I'm, this will be one of them, the other 2 videos that I'll come out with, it kind of makes sense why we could do this. And not only that, but at the end of the day, if you want to try this product, go ahead and try it. If you don't want to try this product, don't. It really makes no difference to me. I'm here to lay down the facts, to be honest, and to show you guys what I found with my clients. If you don't want to, if you look into the research and something about it just doesn't make sense to you, and I don't explain it thoroughly, or you don't trust me for whatever reason, that's fine. Again, no one's forcing you to try these products. This is laying down the framework for, okay, what is actually going on from a literary standpoint, from an anecdotal standpoint, and from an actual research standpoint on the specific product itself. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out theprepcoach.com. Lots of videos coming to you guys in the future on Professor Nuts. And I especially can't wait to actually break down the literature on alpha-cyclodextrin, because that's one that, again, just kind of flies over the radar for a lot of people.